Hello and welcome to CE Institute's Quick Start video for live interactive webinars. My name's Selena. I'm the founder of CE Institute, and we're going to provide you some valuable instructions today on how to operate our webinar system to take one of our live interactive webinars. Today's Quick Start video will only provide instructions and information about how to attend your webinar. This Quick Start video is about how to operate the webinar system within your own device. All information about your subject will be reviewed on the day that your class is scheduled. Please feel free to watch this Quick Start video more than once. We're going to go through quite a few steps quite quickly for those who are familiar with webinar systems, and those who are not, you can just watch this a couple times, and after a couple times, you should get the idea of which buttons control which features. Some of the video screens in this presentation will have printed material that is above and beyond what we discuss in the video. The video is 15 minutes long. Please feel free to click the play or pause button as needed to review any of the written information. One of the things that you want to do to prepare yourself for your webinar is to check your device compatibility. Here's the website address that you would want to click when you're on your device to make sure it's compatible. We're going to email you this URL link, and you can also find this website link on our webinar facts and policies page. We recommend students to use an Ethernet cable as pictured here to hardwire their computer device to the internet modem. If you use Wi-Fi, wireless connection frequently drops every day. You might not notice it, but it's dropped. This will disconnect you from our program. You can log out and log back in if this happens. You'll want to use a laptop or computer device to attend your webinar. Cell phones and Chromebooks are not recommended. You might be able to use them and view and hear the presentation, but some features such as polling or student breakout sessions might not be available on a lesser robust computer device. Most students should be able to log into and watch our webinars by clicking on the Join link that we will email you before your class. The Join link will be emailed to you 1 week, 1 day, and 1 hour prior to your webinar. Please do not download software to log into or watch our webinar, and please do not download the desktop version or switch to the desktop version of our webinar software unless one of our support professionals instructs you to do so. Downloading software is not necessary. We recommend using a Chrome browser when attending our webinars. Other browsers such as Safari or Mozilla Firefox, they might work, however, they might have less features. You might not be able to participate in some of the polling, or you might not be able to view videos, so there might be less features. Chrome works best. Depending on what type of device you're using to view your webinar, most devices have something called a control panel, which you can see to the far right of the screen. You can use the control panel to raise your hand, mute or unmute your microphone, share or stop sharing your webcam, and chat in the chat box with the rest of the class. To the right of the screen, you'll see an arrow that points directly to the microphone button. When the microphone button is gray, we cannot hear you and you are not sharing your microphone. When the microphone button is green, we can hear you and you are sharing your microphone. Please keep your microphone muted during class until you have a question. The webinar company recommends that students use a hardwired headset during a webinar. However, we've never had a problem with students using their built-in speakers or microphones on their own devices. If you do experience an audio issue during the webinar, we recommend that you try using a headset that's hardwired to your device. To the right of the screen, there's a red arrow that's pointing towards your webcam button. When it's gray, we cannot see you and you are not sharing your webcam. When it's green, we can see you and you are sharing your webcam. You simply need to press the gray button until it turns green to share your webcam. Once you activate your webcam and it's showing as a green button, please allow sharing by clicking the button that asks you if you want to share your webcam. If you'd like instructor feedback about your hands-on technique during class, you will need to share your webcam so that we can see you and provide feedback. Please remember that webcam sharing and other features might not be available on some devices such as a cell phone or a Chromebook, and also you must be using a Chrome browser. Other browsers such as Mozilla, Firefox, or Safari may not have webcam sharing features. When sharing your webcam for instructor feedback, it's important to put your webcam right next to your work. Please do not record your work across the room 10 feet away from your webcam. The instructor will not be able to see you and will not be able to provide feedback from a webcam that's at a distance. To the left of the screen, there's a red arrow pointing to a green circular button with a hand in the middle of it. This is the Raise Your Hand feature. We recommend that students instead use the chat box to ask questions during class instead of raise their hands. And if you have a computer device issue, please text the school. You can chat with everyone during the class and ask questions of the instructor as well. The chat feature is on the control panel here, shown with a red arrow. It's the circle-ish cartoon button. Just simply click on the button, type your chat, and press send. The entire class will be able to see your message. If you have a software or computer device issue, such as how to work your webcam or viewing or audio issues with the webinar, please call or text the school. Texting is always best. Please do not send chat messages about software or computer device issues in the class because this can disrupt the entire class. If you're experiencing abnormal computer issues or if we're overwhelmed with students having issues, we may ask you to call our software company. Please call them if we ask you to call. The goal is to quickly resolve your issues. Please be sure to follow the instructions you're provided to make that call. We email students 1 week, 1 day, and 1 hour prior to their webinar with an email that has a gray section at the bottom of it that has this number 1, please review the materials. Please click on this to review and download your student materials. If you're unable to download your student materials prior to class, you can download them by clicking the Page button that's shown with a red arrow here on the left-hand side of the screen. Please be sure to download your materials prior to the end of class. They will no longer be available after the class concludes. After you register for class, we're going to send you some emails. These emails will ask you to have certain items available if you'd like to participate in hands-on training. Please be sure to have these items available during your webinar so that you can participate in the hands-on activities. Most of our webinars have hands-on training with live models, not all, but most. Please read our webinar class emails for specific details if live model practice is available and what time your live model should be available for practice. Please use standard precautions during COVID-19. To avoid computer burnout and fatigue, we will provide a 10-minute break every hour of class. We also enjoy a 30-minute meal break during most webinars. If you need to plan your meal break, please simply ask your instructor what time it will be provided to plan accordingly. CE certificates will be emailed to students within 1 week of class completion. Please download or print your CE certificate as soon as you receive it. The school does charge a $25 administrative fee to reproduce a CE certificate after we've initially emailed them to students. CE Institute will report CE credit for Florida, Georgia, and Tennessee massage therapists via CE broker. National board members will receive their CE certificate to self-report. All of our live interactive webinars are approved by these boards. We provide CE certificates for all students who complete our classes. However, a certificate does not replace a license to practice bodywork or healthcare. If you're unsure if the class you're taking is within your scope of practice, please contact your state licensing board to ask them. The next few slides that we're going to review are some of our facts and policies for our webinars. To review all of our facts and policies for our webinars, please view these on our website. We require these policies to issue CE credit for licensees. We ask that students log into their webinar approximately 30 minutes prior to the start of class to ensure your connection is working with ours. There is no CE credit during this time. We simply ask that you log in. Please be sure to turn your webcam and microphone off when you log in. Your webcam should already be deactivated when you log into the webinar. However, you can test your webcam by pressing the gray webcam button prior to the start of class. Please do not share or show things that would be inappropriate in a public classroom via the webcam. This includes allowing your model to undress in front of the webcam. To receive a CE certificate, please register and sign into the webinar under your own name. Please do not log in with multiple devices. It's one login per student registration. This is required for our school's CE attendance records to issue CE certificates. If the school's connection to the webinar is lost for any reason, we ask that students review their materials until the school is able to reactivate their connection to the webinar. The school does have contingency plans in place to reactivate within 15 minutes of any loss. Students should also develop backup plans and options to view their webinar in case of technical failures such as internet or loss of electricity. It's okay if a student doesn't have a backup option, as long as the student is aware that they will not receive CE credit for time that they have not attended. We ask that students be available to answer questions or demonstrate work during the webinar. Students do not have to practice hands-on skills to receive their CE certificate, but we do need to know that they are present by chatting in the chat box or answering our questions when asked. We ask that students remain professional during webinar attendance. This includes staying on topic with the subject that's being taught and to use their webcam in a professional manner. Use professional language with a professional appearance at all times to avoid being dismissed or terminated from the webinar. If you're taking your webinar for CE credit, the boards require that you complete a class evaluation survey at the end. Your class survey will launch at the end of your webinar. Please complete this and submit it when it's provided at the conclusion of your webinar. CE Institute is not responsible for internet technology failures on the behalf of the school or student. Nor is the school responsible for any student purchases made to attend the webinar. We also only provide CE credit for the time that the class is scheduled. CE Institute is providing our live interactive webinars at enormous discounts. It's primarily for industry relief during the pandemic, but we're also very new to the webinar business. So we've provided these discounts to make up for any inconvenience with our online training. And that's the conclusion to our webinar Quick Start video. If you have any questions, please email us at info@ceinstitute.com. And also feel free to watch this Quick Start video as many times as you wish to familiarize yourself with the processes and features.